everybody. How's everybody doing out there? I'm your host of WTF, Russell Hill, and that's what the fixed ops to all of you out there today.
I'm Charity, and we're excited. We have Nick Ruffolo with us today, the Director of Fixed Operations at the Rohrman Auto Group. Nick, welcome to WTF.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. I've enjoyed being on, and thank you for the invite. Yes.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, Nick.
Yes, my name is Nick Ruffolo. Been in the automotive business since 1997. So I gauge myself real quick. So it's been a long term in the auto business. I could first say, the sayings out there, if you love what you do for work, you never work a day in your life. And I can tell you, I'm walking those shoes now because I've been in it since 97 and started off with washing cars. Now here I am as a corporate director for the Rohrman Automotive Group, one of the largest auto groups here in the Midwest. So a little bit about myself, passionate in what I do. The opportunities I have is not so much in the fixed ops side when people look at your sales and your hours per RO and all that, as advisor mindset. But ultimately, I like the customers where maybe we dropped the ball somewhere, whether it was on the variable side or on the manufacturer side or what have you. And that's an opportunity, I think, when we have a guest in front of us to earn that customer for life back, if we do it right. Big on motivating the team and watching them grow. That's one of my big whys of why I do it. Granted, you go to work, you're going to earn a living. You know what I'm saying? In the automotive business, as much of us know, is pretty much a glass ceiling, So you can make what you want and what will you put in the drive to be very successful. But my big why is watching the team grow around me that I put together and watch them have that same opportunity and strive for it and then to become successful for it. So many success stories, much in our auto group of what I, kind of came up, right? From washing cars to advisor to a manager role. And we have these individuals now that are in our group. And I've been with the Rohrman Automotive Group now since 2008. So pretty long tenure and relationship building with the team and our customers is a big why. I enjoy doing it.
Let me, I met Ryan at a SodaCon last year, and the Rohrman Automotive Group it has a name that resonates with cutting edge technology, leadership, servant leadership, empowering your people. I love the way you started with the why, because everything's really about the why. Everything else kind of falls into place. And you've been with Rohrman for quite some time now. How did you get into fixed operations? And more importantly, when you did, and as you excelled or did whatever you did, because just listening to you, you're very passionate about what you do. But how did you get on with Rohrman?
Russell, I love that question. I really do. And this is something we can have a whole podcast on, right? So I was going to school, and originally I was working at a Dominick's. I was stocking shelves, okay? And the local dealership where I brought my first car from I was there a lot, and they called me up asking, how things are going, doing a follow-up on my recently used purchased car. My parents helped me co-sign on at 17 years old, right?
I love it.
And I just told them I thought you guys did a great job, and I was just being honest. I wasn't used to stuff like this, as a teenager, and I decided to change what I was doing for work while I was going to college to studying to be a police officer. So I was taking criminal law, and I was taking business courses as well, and started off as a used car porter. So my OCD, I think, got me very far in my part of that aspect of my job, because our cars were lined up, plate frame straight, string line across the board, 6 feet in between car doors. Like I get like that, right? One day the service department was a little bit backed up. They were shorthanded. There was customers calling, phones were ringing like crazy, and the fixed ops director, my mentor that we still talk today, and he may even be working for us here shortly, right? He's like, "Hey, Nick, I need a hand real quick. I need you to grab a bucket and come see me when you get the bucket. Go get the bucket from service." I hate to say it, guys. I grabbed the bucket. I went to the porter van. I grabbed the bucket. It was empty. I come up with a bucket. I'm like, "What do you need me to clean?" He's like, I don't need that kind of bucket. And he shows me like this metal bucket that does not look like a bucket. It's like, hey, if you're in the automotive business, everybody on this call is watching. You know what bucket I'm talking about, right? We have in finance, we have in service, got me years. So he shows me, I grab the bucket. He's like, I just need you to read the invoices to the customer when you call them, let them know their vehicle's ready for pickup, and thank them for their service. I was like, that's all you want me to do? He's like, yeah. So he sat on this stool, watched me doing, listening to what I was doing, and got customers calling. I'm having conversations with people, like just random.
It's just what you do. It just flows.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a social butterfly. I'm a high. I get it, right? And I'm done. He was like, want to come up to the desk? I was like, no, I'm good. You know, I'm like, I don't know what you guys do. I'm good with cleaning the cars and so forth. I'm like, I'm being a cop, you know? And I took a leap and I went to the desk. After about 90 days, I was number one, number two advisor and different metrics that they were monitoring us on. My CSI was up there. Next thing I know, they're sending me Blue Oval certifications and so on and so forth. And heck, before I was 19 years old, I had keys to the building. I thought I was the big dog in town, you know. And get to galvanize this around your friends and, you know, winging keys around. And, you know, I'm opening up Saturdays and I just felt like I had some leadership ability. I went full round in it. And it turns out, it's a semester before graduation, I dropped out. And quick little story on that aspect. I'm first generation. So my dad came here from Italy. So he didn't come here with much. And I got the reminder of, you know, I want you to go to school and, you know, I work at the way, you know, and
that's a tough one to overcome. Yeah,
it was because it's that bloodline goes far back and I'm first gen and, you know, it meant a lot to my dad, you know, to put his first kid through college. So I promised my dad, I said, listen, if it doesn't work out, I'll finish my degree. I go, but I want to try this. And my dad and my parents are probably, I mean, remarkably, it just impressed him, you know, where it went to. And, you know, they get to galvanize about, like, oh, my son was on Fox News and here's, you know what I'm saying? So like, if someone would have told me at 17, 18 years old, this is where I was going to be at, I would disagree with you because that wasn't my drive. That's not where I wanted to do. I wanted to be the police officer, not to write you a ticket for speeding, but find a guy that's not doing the stuff he's supposed to be doing, you know, blue jeans, black shirt, door down, you know what I'm saying? Tackle to the ground, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
At the end of the day, I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of doing the same thing right now, though. There's times when you got blocking and tackling. I have staff and team members that come up to me, and sometimes I got a different hat on where I feel like they're sitting on a couch at my house and just sharing some feelings, you know? And to have a team that surrounds you by hundreds, even one or two of them reach out to you, I mean, that's impactful for me. It's like, wow, you know what I mean? Outside of work, you want to talk about stuff like this. And I find myself leaning more towards the younger crowd because I have 3 sons as well. One of my kids is just underneath master level, expert level, actually, with Kia and our Kia store. So, you know, when the kids are coming in and I'm hiring them early on as porters and loop techs.
There you go.
More sons, 18 and 17. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can relate now and watch them and understand and build some work ethics with them and pat them on the back when they did it. You know, get recognized, you know?
Let me ask you, when you dropped out and your parents, they wanted you to go to college, get a degree, etc., and you said if it doesn't work, you want to do this. You were obviously very passionate about doing this. You wanted to give it a whirl, and you thought you could make it work. And if it didn't, you'd go back. Did they support you and lift you up at that time as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I can't lie. My dad wasn't very supportive when we had that conversation because that conversation wasn't 10 minutes long. I'll tell you that right now. We were sitting at a kitchen table, you know, you know, and it got to the point where, you know, old school way of growing up. He's like, well, if it's not working out, you're paying rent. You go to school, you don't have to pay. So you better have that job. You don't have a job, you don't have a house. And I was like, well, you know what I mean? And then I got to the point, he's like, you know, Nick, if this is really what you want to do, then give it your all. But if it doesn't work out, don't just, you know, kind of be stuck on it, prove a point. You know what I mean? Like, because you know how our kids are. You know what I'm saying? That's all right, you know? But
yeah, but I also know ADHD, type A, obsessive compulsive, that if you want something, you go after it.
Well, you kind of named me pretty hard right there. So yeah, got a little ADD. I got a healthy amount of ADD as well. You know what I'm saying? And I have to keep myself task oriented and so forth. But you're 100% right. It's going to be hard to tell me no, or vice versa. Like, Nick, I don't think that can happen at that store. I don't know if they're going to get, that car count up or that gross. Now it's a challenge accepted. You know what I'm saying? And I can't take it's always been done that way, or that's just how it's done. No, we can make, and you just find yourself with your head more on a, on a swivel than you do just trying to stay stationary. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't. So many moving pieces, And if you like that, if you have that energy and you're fast moving and fast paced, and you got the will to grow and watch people, then I think you're in a good position for what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question, Nick. Tell us what makes your day easy and what makes your day hard.
Wow. That's a
Let me
good
tell you
question.
what, she put together some questions, and some of them are going to be like, really, like, you're going to have to think about it. I hope.
That's actually a great question, because easies and hards can also go by, what are we working on and what are we doing? Easy could be in a meeting setting, and your team is picking up what you're dropping, and they understand, they get it right away, and we go on. It's easy, right? Hard time is maybe having that hard conversation with one of your teammates that you build this relationship with for. Now you got to sit down with them in a hard aspect and say, hey man, is this really what we're going to do? Is this what you want? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe your performance isn't there, the culture isn't showing that. Hard is, sometimes multitasking, you know what I'm saying? And, you got calls coming at you left and right. And there's times where it's like, wow, what a day. But then, you don't go home in a bad mood. You know what I mean? You go home like accomplished enough. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't, you do it the next day and then tackle that one, and it just gets easy. And staying organized makes it easy,
Yes.
Having a team that you build around you, that you try to find, the culture fit person rather than a high performance, because I feel strong enough. I have no problem teaching skill. The hard part, though, to your question, is the teaching the will, right? So you just got to, there's a lot that comes with that.
There is.
And we could talk about that for a while. We get into details on it. Overcoming our customer objectives. And getting the greeter to really greet the customer the way we want them to do it. Hi, no, that's not what we do. Welcome. My name is. Welcome to Schaumburg Kia. Is this the first time you've been here? I'm in our store right now. We got one of the largest Kia stores. Bring them, show them the store. Don't worry about just taking the pictures of the car. Come on, I want you to show you the new store. Let me get you a cup of coffee. In the meantime, this gentleman over here is going to get your information. We'll come right back here and finish what you came in here for the oil change. You got a couple minutes? I'd love to show you the store. Welcome like they're coming to your house. Whether the store,
you know what? That's everything.
Part of being in the Rohrman Automotive Group, though, see what I'm saying? When you lean into technology today, and you become innovative, and you're thinking outside the box, what are our customers are normally looking at and how are they shopping today? All of us are consumers, right? We know what our experience is, right? We need to deliver that down in the drive. So depending if it's the process, how it was set from the top down, or if it's the tool that they have, are they using the tools, the technology set up the way it makes sense for the store, right? In our DMS, when a customer pulls in and the RFID tag is read, you can have it set up with a push notification that goes over to the advisor. It could go right to their cell phone through the app. It could go to their computer and could say, hey, Charity just showed up for service. You're walking out there. Good morning, Charity. Welcome back. You have an appointment with me. My name is Nick. See, you got your Jennison here for today. Our appointments indicate that you're due for an oil change, tire rotation, and wheel balance. However, you know what? These are staggered wheels. I still balance them for you, but I got to put them back where they came, because I can't put the wider ones in the front and the more narrow ones, or the ones in the front back to the back. It will just change the handling and the performance of the vehicle. You wouldn't be happy with it, and just now we got a conversation.
Yeah. Hell, just saying her name,
yes,
is huge. People, hey,
we've all taught this, and we all been taught this, and I know we've shared it. All of us that are on this call, including ourselves here, right? You would never have a person just walk into your home and let them go find their way around to the living room, to the bathroom, to the kitchen, right? Regardless of Charity, if you've been coming to my house for 30 years, right? And you open up that door, I'm still going to bring it in and tell you, hey, you know where everything's at, feel comfortable at home. Never been in my house before, Russell. I got to walk you my house, right?
I hear you. No,
everyone's going to be over. We're all going to be downstairs. We're having a card game. You got to use the bathroom, Russell. It's the first time here. I got a bathroom upstairs. I got one downstairs. You know what? If nobody's looking and my wife's not home, I mean, you shouldn't have to ask. If you asked, it means I didn't do a nice introduction, and you might not feel as comfortable. You could be a friend of a friend. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm inviting you to my house, I should welcome you then when you get there, So, it's just, sometimes we just got to have these reminder meetings too. And part of that, again, with the Rohrman Automotive Group, we meet quarterly and we have a Rohrman recharge sessions where the director team and our folks over at Banyan and even our advertising and media company will all get together and we discuss on what those sessions are going to look like and what the purpose of it was. To pull people out of a store and have them sit there and talk and meet and everything else, if they walk out of there not with a full, clear understanding what the purpose of the meeting was. One, they should have never left the meeting, and they should feel secure enough to stay and ask questions. I'm going to take it back to elementary school. Okay, I was this student.
Raise your hand.
I had to because I was in the hall because my ADD kicked in, and I had to be the class clown. So after everybody left, I got out of the hall and I had to go back to the class and sit with the teacher and find out what I missed. Right?
I'm familiar with that. Back in those days, there was actually they used to paddle it.
I went to a Catholic school, and I got hit in my hand with a ruler a couple of times. Her name was Sister Ann. And then we went to a public school, and I wasn't worried about Sister Ann no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, it just, clear understandings and the vision and the drive from where we're going. And I am a firm believer in that. From the date of hire, even if it's from a Lou Tech, they got to know what their career path looks like. Because if not, they might be leaving to go somewhere else to figure it out. And that's when it's hard. And, I hear it all the time. Oh, it's hard to retain technicians. It's hard to find them. Look back for just a second, because the demand is there, and the guys are out there. They're working. You poach it from one store to the next. It actually make it worse for you if they're overperforming what you're doing, and the expectations were there, and you don't meet them. They're going to leave again. Fortunately, it can spread like wildfire when you send them for their training that you're paying for. Right. My whole thing when I look at it is like, if I'm going to send someone to training, text talk. Right. Managers talk, advisors talk, right? We're in the business. I want my technicians to be able to answer the other technicians from other locations. Like, how's business? You got to come here. Like,
I love it.
They got this. They supply toolboxes. They do this and this and this, and they pay for this. Hey, they even flew me out here to make sure I got my education. And I'm one that will always support the level of education, because if my techs aren't up to par or my advisors are not sure about the product, it's pretty embarrassing if you have a consumer walking in and they know more about the product than professionals do.
Oh man, so true.
Brand name sitting on your building,
Let me tell you about a partner that's actually helping dealers get ahead. Global Dealer Solutions. If you've been wondering how to use AI the right way in your dealership, especially on the fixed side, these are the people to call. Their team gets it. Not just the tech, but the real challenges that dealerships face every day. We're talking about conversational AI that doesn't just respond, it converts. It books appointments, follows up with service leads, even answers customer questions with actual relevance. It's not replacing your team, it's making sure your team can focus on what matters most, closing ROs and building relationships. But GDS isn't just about AI. They train your staff, drive traffic, and tighten up processes so your results stick long after the tool is turned on. And everything they do is built around one goal: growth that is real. If you want more service traffic, better follow-up, and a partner that's always a step ahead, check them out. Visit gdsdealers.com, follow them on LinkedIn at GDS Dealers, or just shoot them a message and ask, what would you do with my store? And see what they come back with. Global Dealer Solutions, process-driven, people first, always on it.
So true.
Yeah, that reminds me of a question. I wonder if this will be your answer to it. What aspects of this fixed operations do you think we'll always struggle with, no matter what?
Good question.
That's an awesome question. Are you talking internally amongst departments or externally? Like,
It could be either, really.
So-
I mean, what stands out to you?
internally, here's something that always have stood out, right? And I know for sure in our group, we do a very good job in eliminating that from before, right? And I'm going to talk silos, okay? Internally, silos shouldn't be up between sales to service, parts to service, F&I to service, whatever it is. We're one big, large store, right? And, it's almost like the same. I don't know if there's a good analogy, but I'm going to try to use it. It's like going into the Home Depot. If I'm walking around in the electrical department, right, and I have a question on lumber, either A, they call the guy from lumber and they tell him they walk me over there. If you're at a great store with a good process, right? But it's not one department saying, oh, it's not my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still try to help and assist. And another pet peeve of mine is blaming another department within the store
Ooh.
went wrong when it's the same customer. Like that's the last thing. Like if I was a consumer and Russell, you're my advisor, and Charity, you sold me the car. Charity promised me something on a WIO, right? Slipped through the cracks, made it go digitally, or you didn't bring it, right? The advisor should never say, well, Charity does that a lot. I can't believe she did that. Let me try to get a hold of her. I got to go to sales. Like that's just, what's the customer's perception now? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I have the same pet peeve around that kind of stuff, not accepting and assisting. Yeah. Cause we're all part of the same team, but the silo stuff existed and still does today. But it sounds like you've knocked down a lot of those walls in the Rohrman Group.
We have collectively changed the culture from years back. Right. And another thing is what we do inside the group, which I think is phenomenal, is the amount of training that they provide to our leadership team from us down. When it comes down to knowing yourself, your self-awareness, whether it's going through the Working Genius platform and really knowing you, that doesn't change, or your DISC profile, how that reflects you, knowing that you are an I, you're a big influencer, and so forth. Then you learn that. Now you're learning your customers and your team.
That's right.
I have 20 managers underneath my belt from Wisconsin down to the Westmont in Illinois. Okay. So it's like a 60-something mile range between where all my dealerships are at. So you have 20 different managers with 20 different personalities. I cannot talk and have the same conversations the same way. The message is to be delivered to them, understand it, but they all understand and accept things a little bit differently. And learning that, I think it makes you a better communicator for your team or customers to understand,
No doubt. Yeah.
I think we're bringing this up because yesterday's meeting was about internal communication at one of my stores. And we had the whole team up here from the porters up. Yeah.
I'm sure it's something that's not ever completely solved. You have to keep working on it over time. And speaking of things that you work on, can you tell us about a process change that you've experienced that really delivered on the returns?
On a process change, I love processes, right? Processes that cannot be smoked, okay? And I actually took that term right there from Mr. Ryan Rohrman himself, right? We're big on data, right? And all of us know how we can manipulate a number around the ways, right?
Absolutely.
We do as best as we can where we'll catch if it's manipulated or not. But data, process. One of my favorite ones is, okay, amongst a lot, is our tech video process, okay? Back years ago, before tech video was kind of coming about, we were using other software and we were doing a lot of photos and sending them to the customers and we were ability to do video. This was before we transferred from CDK into TechNet. Going through now the TechNet DMS. It's built inside the DMS. There's reporting on it, the open rate, the share rate, the customers, what they engaged on. Like it's elaborate, right? Once I start thinking, I'm like, tech video, like going to the doctor, okay? Most of us don't trust the nurse or the greeter, right? Takes your vitals. They're just getting you ready for the doctor, right? When the doctor comes in, most of us won't second guess or challenge what a doctor has to say, right? My doctors are my technicians, okay? My nurses, my advisors. And I told the advisors and I told the techs, I go, if you guys work together on this, we speak the same lingo, okay? Technicians like to use definitive lingo, measurements, precise, 32 seconds, millimeters, you know what I'm saying? The weep hole, leaking from the water pump. All right, cool. You put that in a video, very technical, right? We'll go back down to the measurements. My big thing was if we're going to talk measurements, we're going to correlate it still with the green, yellow, and red. We're going to use something that the customer could relate to, right? Maybe a set of, 2 business card thickness of millimeters or whatever, and we're going to get a little more definitive. We got it so detailed in to where I have finger pointers on the video.
Good.
You're doing a video and you say, here's your brake pads. If you're a customer and don't know what brake pads look like or what they do, I'm going to put it. They're right there with a little finger pointer. I actually have it somewhere over here. I was messing with it earlier. On the video, they're right here. And next to the finger point is what? My gauge. The level of transparency that we can show consumers, I want you to challenge what we're telling us and go send it to one of your buddies that's your technician and send them the video. Hey, man, I know you're busy, but does it make sense? Should I do this stuff now? If I could give that level of transparency and the customer understands that we got we'll go down that road now to certified techs, lathes and greatest equipment, what everybody else preaches. But when that guy's like, yeah, go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what, that is legit. I can help you. Hey, you didn't do it with me or not, at least we're truthful, right? That's the ticket, because there's going to be a time where that buddy that has the ability to do it in the garage or has their own shop, believe me, I have a lot of friends, right? There's going to be a time where they can't work on that car. At least they're going to say, you know what, that dealership you've been going to, they've been on point, man. Let them work on the car. I can't do this, Or it might be a referral from Russell to Charity, right? You guys are working together. Russell tells Charity how much of this is amazing experience that you had at one of our stores. You show him the tech video. Yeah, they do all that? Yeah. Yeah, but you have a Nissan. I got a Toyota. Hey, they got a Toyota store. Russell, you know what my win is as a service manager? You share my contact information, and Charity's calling me saying, hey, I heard you got a Toyota store. Do you work on my Toyota? Or do who's the service manager? Who do I got to go see? I won.
I don't care. That is so freaking huge. Okay. So
Yeah.
I get I spend a minimum of 3 hours in all kinds of different, all things used cars, all things fixed operation, on and on and on. And other Zoom calls through it in the evening. And it's like, video. If your techs are doing video MPIs at that level, you're probably in the top 1% of the top 5%, because most people they're trying to get and of course it's accountability thing. It's a leadership thing. I get all that, but I'm a consumer too. Right. And if I see that and I don't really understand it, it's obvious it's my vehicle and my rotors are scorched and my pads are shot. You better not let me leave without a brake job, period. That's a safety issue, right?
Yep. Absolutely. You know what? Take the information I just gave you, go dump it in your chat GPT. It'll tell you what it means at 2 millimeters and challenge what I just said. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you have any questions on it, call us back.
I don't think they're going to really challenge that like they used to. When you when you just tell them, it's like, oh yeah, because that is a stigma that helps overcome that stigma that we brought on ourselves over all these decades. Don't you agree?
Yep, 100%. The perception, unfortunately, we all know what it's like. Dealerships are more money. You know what I'm saying? You could get it done for less, and car sales here, service there. I am big on shopping what my competitors are. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, my competitor is not the Nissan dealership down the street from me, because we're against the same competitors that I'm shopping to see what their prices are. 13 miles away sometimes. In one of my areas up here in Arlington Heights, 331 repair shops, including body shops, repair shops, independents, surround my 3 dealerships within a 15-mile radius. No one's going to tell me the fellow Nissan store is my competition. They're not. So,
matter of fact, they probably aren't. It's the independents, right?
The independents have grown, guys, by 20%. We lost almost 20%. So if they're growing, they're going somewhere here. Right? Ryan and I were just talking about that. At the end of the day, right, a customer is going to need their car serviced. The question is when and where, right? The when I can answer, right? Most vehicles tell us when the car's now due for an oil change, okay? Your Hondas are telling you right now, you got your B services, so on and so forth, right? The where is the big one. It really is. You have anywhere you want to go, and you even said to yourself, Nick, I go here, I got, you know what I'm saying? Like the where. So price, it's not so much the talking point. It's the convenience and the availability to get the customer in and out for a simple service.
Absolutely.
There's a quick lane area. There's a quick lane facility not far from one of our stores here in Schaumburg. Schaumburg, Illinois is it's a big city. Okay. It's big. A couple of different zip codes out here. I was leaving our Kia store on a Saturday. It's 4:00 in the evening. 4:00. Not 9 in the morning, 4:00. At the corner of Roselle and Golf Road, it's a quick 5. Okay. My ADD's on, guys. It's going, right? I saw a Kia sitting in the parking lot. It was the third one in going into the lane. I then looked a little closer. I counted 14 cars sitting at the 2 garage doors, so 7 deep. And the last 4 were sitting on Golf Road around the corner onto Roselle Road, waiting to get in at 4:00 in the evening. My meeting with my guys is like, guys, this is what's happening. It's the level of convenience the customer knows they can get there at 4:00. They've been shopping all day, whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? our schedules are wide open, but the perception is we're more money, right? But the fact is we take longer, right? We don't have a pit with a guy underneath, draining the oil while the guy on top is topping off the fluid. We do provide a technician video, right? You have an MPI. We house all the history and data and the condition of your vehicle from the appearance all the way down to the performance. You need to start explaining this to consumers when we're writing them up. You know what I'm saying? We have this. We also wash your car. You know what I'm saying? So the level of our inspections need to be brought to light that we don't charge any extra for, and my pricing is in line. You know what I'm saying? They charge 109, I'm charging 89.
I don't even know if we'll get to that one today, but that level of transparency when the technician hands that off, and whatever your process is in the advisors, then the level of experience the advisor has in overcoming the transparency issue on the pricing, because, I can get it done at Firestone for X. No. And some of that may be true, but also some of those services are bait and switch. They get it costs more, actually more sometimes than less. So
100%. Your independence on the brake jobs. I'm not going to name any names, but we know the ones that are out there, and they're giving you the golden touch, right? And you're going to go in there, and we might quote you pads and resurfacing rotors, and the customer's walking out with calipers, pads, and rotors. And now they got the guarantee, but they also paid a heck of a lot more for this lifetime guarantee or whatever their next pitch is. But it's not with the parts that were designed and made for the vehicle either. You know what I mean? So which way you want to look at it. And if you know this as an advisor, tell the customer, like, you want to put aftermarket parts in the car, we do the same thing. But there's a big name on the front of the building. It says Toyota. You drive a Toyota, we're going to sell Toyota parts,
Yeah, you are in such a great position. I happen to believe as little as last year, 2025 for the next 7 years, that what is the transformation that is taking place in fixed operations is going to be unparalleled, because that's where the money's made. And I'm going to just say it right now, and hopefully you answer it, but there's no way. We haven't even got through a third of the question. So would you be open? Would you be open to coming back so we can, there's a lot to talk about. Would you be open to that?
I would love to come back.
Okay.
Now here's another why.
We would love to have you, but let me ask you, because I do want to get this one out before our show is over. I know you guys are big on data, and Russell was telling me a bit about that before we started. What KPIs do you think dealers track incorrectly, or are they put too much faith in? And which ones are important to you?
It's an awesome question. You still hear hours per RO is an important topic, right? Hours per RO, though, it's a definite smokable, fictitious number, though, because I could bill out 7 hours on a job that maybe supposed to pay 3, right? I'm going to have all these hours and the techs are getting paid. The true point and the true question is, what was your effective labor rate, though? So you can put all the hours out there, but if your effective labor rate, we'll call it is, less than 60, somewhere 50% of your door or 65% of your door, your gross profits are going to show it. You know what I'm saying? So what are we really doing? We're making ourselves look good. We sold a bunch of hours, but you really need to underrate the dollars. So the things I like to look at is your effective labor rate, your gross profit percentage after coupons, and where's your policy at? Because the policy, and now if we're just putting stuff into policy because we're overcharging, we're absorbing repair orders, we need to look back at our settings. And you know what, folks, we learned like that in our group. We had some stores that, were doing that, and you get in there, you start looking at it, and maybe there's technicians that get a little aggravated because they're used to getting paid 2.5 hours for an alignment, and the book may show 1.5 more, So then how eager is your technician going to be to really do a detailed inspection? You follow what I'm saying? If they already know they got their hours. And I'm not saying all techs are like that. I'm not. But let's take that out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not worry about that aspect. RO count year over year and growth. In my eyes, that's going to go back into your marketing, your messaging, or you're tracking the performance of your specials that we're putting out there.
Yep.
If you are, what are the restrictions and limitations that you have? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we can get ourselves into a little trick bag because we may feel that, hey, you know what? Customers want this 1995 oil change, right? Or this buy 3, get 1, or 20% off, whatever it might be. Is a customer opening up the email or receiving a message or what have you, the marketing coming to them, they opening up and saying, Now's the time I'm going to go buy because the dealership they got a 50% off special. No. Your advisors are using it to help close the deal.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So what coupons do you have out there? What are they doing? How are you tracking it? Right.
And are you?
And do we? Oh yeah. We know which ones work, which ones don't. Expiration dates are on there. If not, you don't want that call from me because then you're going to get drilled. Like, why did you get this? Here's what you just, here's what happened. But you know what? I'm glad you made a mistake. You learn from mistakes. I made a ton of them getting, in this career.
Absolutely.
You can accept that you made a mistake. You don't know how to learn from the mistake. You're going to continue doing the same thing over.
Well, I'll tell you what, you wouldn't be where you're at unless you made more mistakes to get here.
100%. And admitting that I made the mistakes.
Yep.
Right.
Well, that's another thing about maturity and responsibility is taking ownership for your own crap, your own side of the street, staying in your lane. Right. So data. I know it's extremely important. As a matter of fact, the general consensus is this year, everything is, what is the biggest things going to be happening? People are talking about NADA, data and AI. Of course, they go hand in hand because AI doesn't work without enormous amounts of data, but it needs to be clean data.
Yeah.
That's right. I love that.
Yes, we are big into our data.
Yes, you are.
And I know, Ryan, we've learned a lot on what dirty data does. Not only are you throwing money out the window, you really don't know what your true performance is on it because it's smoked out and watered out by a bunch of dirty data, right? Ryan and the crew that started developing our Snowflake and our CDP, I was looking at one of our reports at our Kia store actually just the other day, and I was looking at the timeline from customers and the message that we were sending them and how long they haven't been in for service. We were just sending simple little did you know messages, like, did you know, whatever it might be, right? Brought a customer into service that hasn't been in our service department in over 400 days. And the ticket was a $790 ticket. Now, it's a great win. I'm going to be straight.
It is. Yeah, you reactivate somebody that's been out there that long? Absolutely.
Yes. However, what was their experience, though, when they came back from that stimulus in almost 400 days?
Yeah, because then they'll be gone another 400 days.
Thank you. Or forever. Or we lost them forever. We only got a couple shakes at it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I use the analogy of like, some guys are like, hey, man, did a girl ever break up with you?
Yeah, I mean.
You worked hard to get her back. You didn't do the same thing you did the first time, right?
So what is it, Nick? It's 14 years is the average vehicle on the road now?
Actually, it's just a hair over 12, approaching 13. It's probably at 13 right now. And in our service drives, my average mileage car that comes in amongst all the 10 stores that I oversee here in the Chicago and Wisconsin area is just north of 70,000 miles. Your opportunity right now, guys, our opportunity in this business is massive right now.
It is. Yeah.
Speaking of opportunity, are there any trends that you guys are paying attention to right now in the dealer world?
Yeah, I mean, hand in hand, when you're tracking it, you could see what takes place when new car inventory is down. You can see what takes place when new car sales are down, right? Because that ultimately is going to bring that work and those dollars to another profit center, which is our fixed department, right? So I'm not going to have as many cars to recondition. So if I don't have that many cars to recondition to offer for used sale, that means I'm not going to take another trade back in. And as that starts to diminish down, so is your RO volume coming in for your first oil changes. So in my opinion, it's absolutely critical that the first couple service visits and our sales of service intro and handoff has to be on point. You can't have if the customers neglect to come to us at the dealership for a simple oil change, and then let's just say in a perfect world, we do it under 60 minutes in the car wash all night. We crush it, right? But if we can't get them to do that, we're not going to see the repairs that we all like to have.
Man, if you show me that kind of love that you're talking about, I'm going to continue coming back. I'm just telling you.
You know what? I'm going to send the mobile service vehicle out, but I'm going to take
that's a whole nother show in itself. You're going to have to come back. We got too much. We need to pick.
I'm sorry, and this is why I was calling earlier. Like I just, if you say, Nick, let's talk these 3 topics, I'll stay in my lane. You know what I'm saying? If you say, let's talk, we're sliding down the rabbit hole together. We're going to slide right past bugs. And we're going to slide right past Elmer Fudd.
You drop so many things that will be applicable to shorts. It's just right on point. And not only your level of passion and your OCD too, but your level of passion and the fact that you've been with the Rohrman Automotive Group for so long in the position you're in. It's like E.F. Hutton, that old E.F. Hutton commercial, like when E.F. Hutton talks. Yeah, and that's what they're going to be doing, Nick.
What's one belief about fixed operations that you've changed your mind on over the years?
Ooh, wow. Now Charity, that was a good one. I want to answer that one right. I would love to get one some thought because there's a lot. And if I could relay that message down on our next call, I want to kill it because that's a great question.
Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
That's a really good question because during this call, to the folks that are going to be watching and they're going to be sharing and preaching what they listen and watch to, I want to make sure that our question and the answer I give is the right message going back. So it doesn't
fair enough. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's wow.
It's hard because fixed operations changes too. It doesn't stay the same over the years, and neither do you, right? Neither does the business. Everything is sort of evolving slowly.
I really think, I want to say at a high level, but at a level where you have to understand that, yes, fixed operation changes. It does. It's fixed when it comes down to your costs and stuff like that, it's out variables, but fixed does because customers' expectations are changing, right? The power of technology is in the palm of our hands. We use it all the time. I have an AI that I'll tell my AI to send you an email and I didn't even log into my email yet, right? Are you one to embrace change, right? If you're not, I hate to use the term, you're gonna get ran over, And I think embracing change before change comes and it's coming and start to adapt to it, like AI. I'm big with AI. I love AI. I do. I do.
I do three.
You gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? And you do. Yeah. Right? But I do love AI, and going back to like having your head on a kind of a swivel. You know what I'm saying? And if you're constantly focusing on working on your business rather than in it, and seeing the innovation that's taking place, you have to lean in on it. Like tech video, when I was running Nissan before my role changed as a corporate director, we were crushing it. Like even amongst our other stores, like, I don't know, the guys who want to do it, they're not going to get paid. You're missing out, right? Now they see it. And then when you show them the benefit, even to a technician, the dollars that they're earning or additional hours that they're earning, because the advisor is really not saying much at times. I'm just sending you a tech video, Charity, and you're sitting there looking at it like, oh my God, this makes sense. Hey, Russell, what do you think? You any breaks? Yeah, look at those things. Like, they're terrible. Last time I was there, here's what mine looked like. All of a sudden, you just say yes, yes, and yes. The lines are added to the repair order. Everyone's notified. You never even talk to my advisor. But now my advisor is going to call you up, let you know what's going on, and you guys are going to pick up that conversation from there, And then when the job's completed, I want to send you a video on what it looks like when it's completed, You're not going to go home and take your wheels off to see if I did something. You know what I'm saying? No. But if you hire a landscaper to come to your house and you pay for 27 bushes and 14 flowers, you're going to go out there and count 27 bushes and 14 flowers, right? And you're going to make sure they're at where they're supposed to because you can get to them. No one's going to open up the hood and see if I replace a valve cover gasket or change the coolant. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just show it to them. Hey, here's what you needed. Here's what we did. Here's what you paid for. And here's for your records. And we house all that data in a cloud forever for you, So
true.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get to cover everything, but we do always like to ask at the end, is there anything that you wanted to say or anything that you wish we had asked you that we didn't?
I wouldn't say there was a question I wish that you asked, but I could say this. To the leaders that are out there and the folks that are going to be watching it, that are looking maybe to get into a leadership or a management position, right? Keep your head on a swivel. Don't take for what's going on as that's the way it's supposed to be. Monitor what's happening and always inspect what you expect. Give clear description on what the process is supposed to be. Make sure your team is fully aware of it. And when you're done with it, put it on paper. Go over it one more time. Double check them. If you're doing tech videos and you want tech videos done a certain way, like I'm doing with the finger pointer to the word tracks. My word tracks are the same, like inspect them. And when the guy does well, the gal does well on it, bring him in the office, pat him on the back, say, nice job. In your tech huddles, bring that video up and show the rest of the team they did it, I created a contest for it, magnetic badges for the toolboxes. If they hit X amount of percentage in tech video and the quality was there, right, on the expectation, I don't have to go that deep into it. Either you got a master or a pro. So get like kind of a golf idea. I'm a sports fanatic. So a lot of stuff I look at it, we could relate what we do day by day in a sport analogy. We really could, because there's a lot of team collaboration.
That's
right?
huge.
So you could discuss the difference between a golf team, a bowling team, or a football team and a hockey team. You know what I'm saying? Not taking the sport away from anything. But on a bowling team, you're not picking up my bowling ball and throwing my second frame. You know what I'm saying? You're doing you, I'm doing me, and then we do individually, you know what I mean? We all calculate our numbers and the pin count and everything else. That's our team, right? Individually. Football, you're on the line. You're my blocker. I'm the running back. I'm grabbing you by that face mask. Russell, I can't get through the A gap, man. What are you doing? You know, we're going to go to the locker room at halftime. We're all going to get lit. Not me, not you, all of us, because we're a team. You know how coach is, you know? Now block for me, you know?
And that works really well.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People want to know they count, they matter, they make a difference, and they're part of something bigger. You have, in several analogies and conversation, you're all about that with your people, which is why you have the respect that you do. Now, I wish but we don't. We're going to get Nick back on just so everybody knows. But Nick Ruffolo, yeah, absolutely. Nick Ruffolo, Director of Fixed Operations for the Rohrman Automotive Group. Now, hold on. When this comes out, like him, love him, share him, engage with him, ask him some questions, share philosophies, whatever you want to do, because he's going to be everywhere. Any podcast, any listening, whatever it is, Nick's going to be there. You're going to know the Friday before. And I just wanted to thank all the listeners out there, all the people that love and support us and our guests as well. And this is a wrap for another extremely successful WTF. And that is What the Fixed Ops. To all of you out there, let's go.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate everybody out there. Stay safe and get after that grind, right? Let's do it.